Do you remember when you were last happy? Me neither. Probably back when you were a baby. Hey, speaking of babies, let's play a game that revolves around a number of babies. Rugrats Search for Reptar. Now we start off this game with one of the worst sounds ever recorded on this planet, crying babies. Tommy and his friends realize that the puzzle pieces to their Reptar puzzle are missing, and after some, well, less than helpful advice from Stu.
It's okay, kids. Here, have a ball.
Fucking Stu. Tommy and his friends set out to take on the world on the noble quest of finding the missing puzzle pieces.
We'll find all you, Reptar, even if we got to search the whole wide world.
So how do we do this? Well, you need to complete a series of levels and minigames which will reward you with a puzzle piece upon completion. The levels do come with their own difficulty rating, however you can't just be a sick cunt like me and go to the hardest difficulty first. No, the game will make you unlock puzzle pieces from the less difficult stages first, I guess in an effort to make you more familiar with the game. They not know who I am? Anyways, most of these levels are scattered around the Pickle's house, so you just need to go up to random objects, and if it's a mission, it'll sparkle and give you a mission name as well as its difficulty. Simple as that. And there was something just so nostalgic about walking around and exploring a house I'd become so familiar with through watching this show as a little boy. So most missions will see you either doing some light platforming to turn a switch, collecting X amount of something before the time runs out, or just fighting against the game's crappy camera. More on that in a minute. Now I don't know what the game devs thought average babies got up to, but it sure as shit ain't this. This game will see you jumping over deadly slime, navigating your way through many OH&S breaches in the supermarket, and playing mini golf unsupervised, and also running away from this thing.
Run, Chucky, run!
Now obviously to today's standard, the graphics don't really hold up. Actually, come to think of it, there were a lot of things in this game that were pretty scary. This dumbass goose, these creepy ass clowns, being absorbed into a mirror that turns everything upside down, and then having to navigate your way around the house while ghosts try to hunt you. What the fuck were they cooking here?
That'll keep those shadow monsters away, champ.
God damn it, Stu, you are really not helping the situation. Moving over to the controls, as expected, they aren't very tight, which is somewhat of a problem when your game is a platformer. The camera constantly fights against you, and you are not able to swivel the camera behind your character. It only pans left to right or up and down to what is currently being shown to you, which means that you cannot physically turn the camera to look exactly where you want to jump. A little problematic, hmm? The other platforming sequences found throughout the game were just equally as frustrating. It's actually a lot worse than what I remember this game being. With that shitty camera, you'll often have many failed attempts at just some really basic and open platforming sequences. And I feel like there's an issue with the collision or hitboxes because any tiny brush up against a wall will have your characters bounce back or just stop midair. I found that the hardest part of this game wasn't actually the hardest difficulty levels. It was just fighting against the camera and the hitboxes themselves and just trying to position your character to make a decent jump. As you'd expect, all of this mixed with the levels that require platforming within enclosed spaces, forget about it. The only thing worse is Stu's parenting, bazinga. But seriously, he mistakes his kids for dolls here.
Fusion reactors not even included. Let's go, kids.
Jesus Christ, Stu, I need you to get it together, mate. There are other instances in the game where you will need to pick up an item and throw it at an enemy because, you know, your parents just abandoned you and you're left to fend for yourself. And this all sounds easy enough, but you have to perfectly align your character, let go of everything on the controller, and then pick up that item. If you are slightly moving or looking slightly over to a different direction, the character just will not pick it up. It made levels like this toy clown one pretty frustrating, as I felt like I was just waiting on the game to be ready for me and recognize that I'm not doing anything before allowing me to do what I actually want to do. Now, in a more positive light, surprisingly, you do get to play as a variety of characters seen from the original cartoon. You'll mostly be playing as Tommy, but you'll sometimes be playing as Chucky, Phil and Lil, Angelica, Spike, and even Reptar himself. Now, you'll be playing as these characters across the game's 10 levels that are spread across easy, medium, and hard difficulties. The game also has around 4 bonus levels and a couple of exclusive levels as well. My favourite level throughout the entire game, with a close second being the minigolf level, is the final level where you yourself get to play as Reptar and destroy a city. You can stomp on the ground, bite buildings, and even breathe fire. It really was just such a fun way to close out the game, and despite the very average platforming sequences mixed with the dodgy camera, this game still is a fantastic nostalgia trip for those of us who grew up in the Rugrats, and is still a lot of fun today. Now, you will finish this game in under 2 hours, so it's something that you could easily knock out in an afternoon. But sadly, that brings us to the end of another video. If you did Goo Goo or Gaga in this video, please make sure to leave a like and sub to the channel, and I want to thank the little babies on screen now for sharing their milk and cookies with me. This game just really makes you feel like a baby.